Good afternoon. How are we all today? Hope we are enjoying this cooler weather. Just check that I am live in the correct place. Yeah, there we go. Get rid of that. Oh, yeah. First of all, I want to apologise for the lighting. I don't know what's going on, whether it's because it's quite dark outside, but the lighting seems off for some reason. I've got everything on as normal, but who knows? Who knows? We'll go with it anyway. So, what have I got to tell you? I have to say, I am so unprepared for this. I've had an hospital appointment this morning, so I haven't prepared anything at all. I've just got back and cleared everything out the way. Yeah, not prepared at all. So, have I got anything to tell you? Yes, double reward points. Don't forget. Orders placed today and tomorrow, I believe. It's on my website and it's on my Facebook page. But yeah, there's double rewards available. And also something that if you are thinking of doing my online mini album class, you need a pack of cardstock and a pack of DSP, which we currently have the sale. Now, if you want to do it with the same stuff as I've used, you won't be able to order until September because it's at the upcoming catalogue. That's the all wrapped up, which is these papers. You'll have to wait. But if you was going to do it in something else, do go on and check what's available in sale, because it might be that there's a paper and a coordinating cardstock in that sale that you could purchase for a reduced price. And also, if you order it today, you can get the double rewards. So it works out as though you're getting it even cheaper. But yeah, I just wanted to make you aware of that because that'd be good. Right, today we are still working with our Blooms Boutique suite. Can't even talk. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know how today's going to go. I've got two things. I've got a few ideas going around in my head. We've got our card sketch that we always do first. That's fine. I need to produce a card using Pretty Peacock. Now, I'm thinking, do I do my card sketch with Pretty Peacock or not? But then I want to use our large scallop circle die, and I want to do a wall hanging. So I'm thinking if we do our card sketch with our Pretty Peacock, and that'll be a bit different for that. And then we can create a lovely wall hanging using the papers and that in the suite. So yes, that is what I'm going to do. So let's switch cameras and we can start by having a look at our card sketch. This is what we've got. Standard card base, a couple of panels of DSP or cardstock, and then we've got a shape, albeit a semicircle or not, some pretty elements and a sentiment. So because I'm wanting to use Pretty Peacock and make this a monochromatic card. There we go, got it out. Excuse me. I'm not necessarily going to do my standard card for first layer, but I do want a card base. So we're going to start with the Pretty Peacock card base. So I've got my piece of A4. I'm going to score lengthways at 10.5. And then I'm going to cut at 14.9. That gives me two card bases. Then I'll lightly fold, butt it up against the edge. so they are nice and even. Oh, and then use my bone folder to burnish, so I get a nice crisp edge on my card base. So there we go. That's a 10.5 by 14.9 card base, which is a standard A6. Right. So what I thought is we've got two panels. I don't just want it all plain. One colour. So I brought in the two-tone cardstock. So I've got some pieces of that we can use. As you can see, one's slightly darker, and then we've got the lighter size. I don't know if these panels, any of them are any good, but we shall try them. And then I thought we could bring in the Artisan Sketch Garden DSP, more for a background, and we could colour some of this, which I thought would be nice. So I'm thinking either a piece of that then we could colour in, or maybe a stripe. Have I got a smaller piece of stripe? I have. No, it's parted. It's sticky. Got that. Which I might go with that. So let's have a look. So if we had that striped, and then we could have, I know they're not the right size, but that'd give some nice variation on there. So I'm going to colour on DSP. Don't forget, you can colour your DSP. Where have I put a piece of grid paper? Now, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can either use ink and a blending brush, or you can colour with your blends. And I think I'm going to use a blending brush for today. Let me find, got a green. Oh, I've got a blue. What colours we got on? That's quite light. And then we've got, we'll go with the green. Let's grab some Pretty Peacock. Now I am thinking about it, going to grab my glass mat, which is better for blending on. I apologise now for any glare, but I will sort that out in a moment. So I don't need my grid paper. And we'll bring in that extra bit of mat, which will hold that, stop that slipping around. Right, I'll cover as much of that up as I possibly can. The glass mat's perfect for blending, because you can add the ink to it, but then when you pop it onto paper, your grid paper, that ink gets absorbed and it's lost, then wasted if you like. Whereas on the glass mat, it keeps picking it up, so you'd waste less. I'm not going to say there's no wastage, because there is a bit that stains on there, but you get a lot less. Now you'll notice I haven't cut this to size, and that's so sometimes I make the mistake and get my edges darker than I would like. At least this way I can chop them off when I cut it down to size. And just keep going, adding colour, building that colour up until we're happy. And I like the fact that it's easy to get a variation of colour when blending. Yeah, it's always handy to have some black and white papers, and then if you haven't got the colour you require, you can just add colour. It's like I love to have a white ribbon, because then I've got, as long as we've got a blend, got any colour ribbon I want. I mean, you can add colour with ink to a blender, to a ribbon as well, but I tend to do mine with my blends. Find it easier. Right, so we've done that. Pop that away. Try and keep clean and tidy. Grab my chamois and just wipe that off. Squeak, squeak. We'll move this out the way so that can dry, ready for next time. Right, pop a blending brush out the way so we don't get ink everywhere. Right, so we've got these pieces. See? So that just gives us another tone of Pretty Peacock. Now I'm liking the darker, so I am going to use from there. So I need to chop my piece off. We need it 5 by 10. Oh, I want that corner for definite. So I want 10 by 5. Now obviously you don't have to use these card sketches exactly as they're done. You can choose your own dimensions for them, use it as a guide, whichever. And then I want the light side of the two-tone, and that's 7 by 8. That's near just off a square. And we'll save those bits. Right. See, those measurements aren't exactly right for our size card. It doesn't come at all, but I'm going to go with it. I'm fine with that, because I can add some bits in. So what I'm going to do is, it does need a panel. So I'm going to get a Pretty Peacock panel. How about if I go dark? Let's try. At the end of the day, it's a piece of paper. Hello! Yeah, it's a lovely Pretty Peacock. How are we today, Julie? It hasn't gone exactly as I thought, but that's okay, because we can always change our mind and add bits. So the colour is just Pretty Peacock, nothing else. Oops, come on. There you go. Liking that. Yeah. And then we can have some flowers on there. Yeah, happy with that. Do I want any texture? No, I don't today. I'm keeping things quite simple for this one. So we've got our cardstock base. We've got our two-tone cardstock layer on the dark side. Black and white DSP coloured with a blending brush. There. And then we've got the light side of the two-tone cardstock as well. Just pop that down there. Looks level to me. What's the stripe piece? Is it DSP or a Lisa made one? It's a DSP. It's from the Artisan Sketch Garden, and it's a pack that's all black and white. One side's flowers and foliage, and it's got the flowers in vases somewhere there. But then on the other side, it's got some nice patterns on, some with a black background, some with a white background. But it's just nice to colour. Answered your question, waited. Not a problem. I like to answer. I like you to ask questions if you're not sure. That's what I'm here for. Right, so we've got that, and then we're going to do some flowers. So let's get some stamps, and let's see how they stamp with Pretty Peacock. So we want some white cardstock. Just grab a piece. I'm just going to chop that in half, just so it's not so cumbersome for me to move about. Now, my Pretty Peacock is an older ink pad, and it's gone hard, but it still works. I might get a slightly different coverage with a stamp like this, but we can see. Line that up. See, still works absolutely fine. So don't think just because your ink pad's gone a little bit hard that you can't use it, because you can. It's perfectly fine. Just might take a little bit more inking up. I'll do a couple of those. I'll move that and smudge slightly. That's better. And then for this one, I'm not going to ink it up quite so much. So make it slightly lighter. Not a lot, but a little. And if I do that one with it stamped off, and that's how I prefer it actually, but that's not lined up at all. So I am going to stamp that again, and then the outline again. And I have realised I've got a very dry mouth and I haven't got a drink. I might be shouting Dell, so fetch me a drink. That's nowhere near lined up. Oh my life, what is going on? We all have these days where it doesn't go to plan. And this is my day. That's better. It's not quite as light as what I wanted it, but it's fine. We can use it. Right, let's cut those out. Now there are dies to go with this. But I am just going to fussy cut because I want it closer cut. That one's okay. Should we want a darker one? Right, let's get these out. So yeah, I've had my 6 monthly checkup at the hospital today. Everything's a-okay. They did ask if I'd got a water infection because I've got slightly high white blood cells in my water, so keep an eye on that. But hopefully that's nothing, and everything else is okay, so we're all good. But our hospital can be a nightmare to park at, so Dell ends up having the day off to take me in case I can't get parked and miss my appointment. Right. So these are ever so quick to fussy cut. And I have to say, I find cutting flowers out quicker compared to some other images because they're natural. You don't have to have such a perfect edge to them. They're a lot more forgiving. Gosh, my mouth is really dry. Right. There we go. I've got those. And I like how they show up. They've been stamped on the white against the dark. Yes, it is, isn't it? Good to hear. Thank you. I like how they show up against it. And then I think we're going to have, because I've got the black, I'm going to go with some black foliage. And I'm going to bring in a couple of pieces. Look at my foliage dies. And I will do some black, but we can do as well some blended ones. So it blends in with the colour. I'll bring my ink back and my brush. This is what I say. I've got no idea what I'm going to do, so I keep changing my mind, and it's a bit of this, a bit of that. Whereas if I'd have planned it beforehand, I would have done all this in one go, wouldn't I? You'd have taken, oh bless you. Your auntie lives close to the hospital, so could have called in for a cuppa. Next time if I'm free, I'll help. Just ask. Although I bet Dell's happy for a day off. Thank you, Julie. He is. He was going to work on the car. What his aim was today to get the body off and move it. But of course it started raining and he needs to get it on the drive to do it. So look where I've got marks on that have come. So we've got a nice little pattern on there, which I'm okay with. Take it. There's somebody coming to my door. What's the matter, Evangeline? All right, there we go. Get some darker bits on there. Nice, like that. Yeah, right. Let's pop that away. And I think sometimes it's nice to just craft and see where it takes you. Have a bit of an idea of what you want to do, but then just let the process happen. You don't have to have decided on everything that you're going to do because things pop to mind as you're crafting. We'll have one of those. We'll have a couple of those. Well, one of those and one of those. And I think, yeah, that'll be enough. I might do another little out of there. And then if we have one black piece of foliage as well, we'll be okay. So with you saying lunch break, Julie, I take it you're having an office day. See, that's giving us a different colour again. It's almost a coastal cabana, isn't it? If we can, I'll do another one of each of the smaller. Yeah, it's an office day. There we go. That's go in the bin. There's no room for any more on there. It's another way of getting extra colours from your cardstock. And then I want a piece of black. That's not big enough. I have lots of scraps of black. If I remember, or remind me, I'll show you how I store my scrap, because I have had people ask how I store all my scraps. No, in fact, let's do this and I will show you what I've got. I've stored them this way for a long time and it works for me. Right, let's pop those out the way. I have got a really useful box. It's a 9-litre box, and I've made dividers, and I write on each colour, and then I've got them in colour families, and anything smaller than half a sheet goes in here. Anything bigger stays in the plastic wallet that I keep my cardstock in. And it's always easy to go and pull and find exactly what I want. And that just fits on one of my shelves when I pack away. Right, so let's have a look what we've got here. So I'm using the flowers as my arch. And then we can have the foliage as the little, what they've got as little butterflies, almost. It's really pretty. But you know, I'm not sure I want any more than that. I might keep those for something else. Right, so let's go with that. We'll stick these down. Some dimensionals. I'll just pop a dimensional on the back of there and on the back of there. Look at that. And then we'll use a bit of glue because I know I'm running out of glue dots. Thank you. That's a bit tall. Come on, let's chop some of that off. I'll put it in the bin. That's better. That's there. And this one. And you see, I haven't added any extra texture or anything by curling my leaves or my flowers. I'm just keeping them flat this time. That one there. And then our sentiment, I am kind of thinking, have I got a nice sentiment in here that we can use? Because we can always colour one if we haven't got one that's actually black. I don't think we want Merry Christmas, do we? So we've got a nice congratulations, which we could have a white. In fact, I quite like that. Sending hugs. Nope. Oh, actually, well, You know, when you think now and then you're like, actually, thank you. No, I think that's a bit too plain. What else we got? Sweet baby, thank you. No. Get well soon. There's another congratulations. Let's try this one, see which one we prefer. We've got that one. Or that one. I quite like that one, I think. I like them both. But yeah, I'm thinking that one. A little bit simpler in font. So these are great. These are the greetings for all, the mix and match. And you get, I think it's 3 sheets, 2 of each. You like sending hugs. The black and white is different, makes it pop. Let's have a look. It does pop. You are right. They do all work. But I'm just thinking that's got a nice clean edge on the bottom. If you like, that to me is more pleasing to my eye. But then that lines up there and then that's on there. No, I'm sorry. That is more pleasing to my eye, lining up there. But I know exactly what you mean about it popping. It does pop. Right, I want some mini dimensionals, which I have all these that are out of kits. I'll pop one there. I'll add one there. I'll catch it. And then that's enough. I'll add some glue to the rest to hold it down. It's just how people's eyes see things, isn't it? And we all see things differently. And what's pleasing to one isn't pleasing to another. And yeah, for me, that just felt neater. Yeah. And then we'll have a little bit of bling. See what bling we've got. Do I want to bow? I don't think I do want twine on this one, even though I have got black twine. But no. Right. So we can go white. I've got twine everywhere. Don't really want silver or gold. Oh, I have Pretty Peacock. I don't think I've got black. Okay, black would have been quite good. Then navy. Oh, I have got some black in the bats. I think they're not them ones. I think there's a secret sea. So fur. No, I think the black will be nice. Just preferred something a bit shiny. These are the adhesive bats, ghosts and dots, which was from the online exclusives in July, I believe. Yes, I haven't used them yet. But next month I'm doing Halloween. So we will be using them next month. These are like almost rubbery, different. There we go. Just a wee little, not exactly bling, is it? But it's just needed something on it to finish it. All right, and then we'll put an inner on the inside. Obviously, if it's an inner, it's going to go on the inside, isn't it? Oh my life. This is just a standard 10 by 14.4. And then have I got a piece of that coloured stripy paper left? Thought I did, but maybe I haven't. Where have I put that? Oh. And I can just pop that piece that I cut off across the bottom and it ties in then. I would have preferred it if it was a longer length and gone down that side to keep the stripes the same, but no matter. I'm trying to make sure I use up my little bits because it's so easy just to keep reaching for a large piece and cutting up, but then you end up with lots of little pieces left. There we are. That's our first card for today, using a Pretty Peacock and our layout. All right, so next I want to create a door hanging or a wall hanging. I'll put the sentiment away. Put there. And what I want to use is the large of the scallop circles from this suite. And we're going to do it on, I want to colour. Where's my coloured cardstock? Here we go. I'm going to, do I want to, yeah, I have got some more looking. I'll go barely blush, I think. And then I'm going to perhaps do the next size down. Thank you, Angela. Thank you for joining us. Perhaps do the next size down as a layer in DSP. I hope you are well. Right, let's cut this. Again, I haven't planned what I'm going to do for this. I just know, I thought, oh, that'd be nice. It's a little wall hanging or door plaque or something. All right, cut that one. And then if I grab the next size down, and let's choose some DSP to layer on top. That's very pretty. I'm not sure I want anything quite so busy. That one is quite nice, not quite so busy. Not sure it's the blue. Yeah, so it's either a blue. I think I'm going to get that one actually. I think that'll look nice layered on there. Trim it down. And then we can add some decoration onto it as well. Out the way. My stamps have stuck to my plate. Right. Okay, put that out the way. so it takes up quite a bit of room on the desk. And I haven't got the largest desk, as you might have guessed. So we can layer that onto that, which I think looks really nice. I mean, these just layered up look gorgeous. I really wish I had the large letters that we do, because it would have been nice to put an initial on there and make it as a door plaque, but I don't. So we will go with what we've got and just make it a little wall hanging. Right, so we're going to want some foliage. And we're going to want some flowers. And I am going to do these out of these more solid standalone dies that we've got, that you don't need to stamp anything. That. And I'm going to have my main one in hydrangea hue, and then we'll have a couple of smaller ones in we go hydrangea hue, and then crisp cantaloupe, and a couple in golden glow, and then some green and white foliage. Yeah, right. Get it planned out in my head somewhat. So I need some scraps of in colours. Here we go. Golden glow. Find the smallest. That seems to be the smallest piece I've got for that. Hydrangea hue. I'll have that one. And then crisp cantaloupe will be that one. Now you could again create your own by colouring on cardstock, either with the blends. In fact, we could do that, couldn't we? Should we do that? Should we colour our cardstock ourselves? I think that'd be quite nice. Right, so we want a hydrangea hue. We'll grab our blend. I'm just going to use the light. I don't want anything too dark. I'm just going to colour just like so. And that looks right. There we go. That's enough for that. And then we'll use our light golden glow for a couple of these. You do get some texture in then as well. Crisp cantaloupe. Have a couple of those. If it's not quite enough, we can always do a bit more. And then we'll get some peaceful pine for some leaves, some foliage. And this way, I find as well that the colours are a lot softer. Now you can see I am overlapping in different parts differently on this, and that's purposely because it's foliage. I want all those different bits. Right, so let's bring back our larger machine because we can do them all in one then. We'll do more at a time. We'll get them all on. I want multiples of the same one. All right. Because that hasn't dried under there. I'll have that one on our crisp cantaloupe. I'll have that one there. Pop that back on there. And then I think I'm going to do these more like rose type leaves out of the green. And then this keep white. There. Let's have a look. Get these out. Beautiful. Like I said, it's a lot softer a colour. Love those. So pretty. And I love the variation in colour that we get as well. Fabulous. Fabulous. It's given me an idea actually for I need to do some swaps for a team event next week. Might do something like this. Okay, it'd be pretty. Okay, put that back on there. And we'll just see how we go from there. And then if we need any more, we can just do what we need. It's enough to be going on with. So how's everybody's week been? Mine's been quite quiet. We popped out for a meal last night with my car club. That was nice. Just get out, and it's only for a couple of hours, just a nice little chat. Haven't done much else. We've been sorting out again. I'm being fab. I've got a chilled weekend this weekend. Much happening that I know to as yet, but who knows? Who knows what will pop up between then and now? Right, so and I've got that out. Fabulous. So as you can see, they are just a softer colour to the actual cardstock itself. But yeah, I like that. I mean, if you use the dark blend, then obviously it wouldn't be so soft. Right, so we'll add this piece onto a cardstock panel. Trying to line it up as best we can. And get it somewhat central. There we go. Beautiful. Then I'm thinking if I have my holes there for my ribbon, so I am going to put a little dot on each of those so that I know that's my top and that's where I'm going to cut my holes. I mean, I could punch them now, but and then we're going to have, I'm carefully going to scrunch these a little and pop them out because as you can see they've got grooves in them, and I just want to give them a little bit of dimension, but not too much. I don't want them flat. So dimensional on there. And we will start with that one. Now, of course, you could go as wild as you fancied adding stuff to this, and have a real beautiful bouquet of flowers. I'm just trying to see which looks better on top. I don't want them both underneath. Yeah, I'll have that one underneath. All right, I'll have that one on top. This one underneath. But you could do a big array, couldn't you? Look beautiful. I'll put them both facing the same way. There we go. I don't want them facing the same way. Then I'll just add dimension to those. Could use the end of a pen, your pokey tool, your take a pick tool, just something a little bit rounded, and roll it in your palm. It gives those a bit of dimension. I'll just add those on. And use a bit of glue for this. Right, turn it off a second. That's a good thing about this being speciality paper. It's got a sheen on it, so it's easier to get the glue dots off. There we go. You can't see that very well. Oh, should it be like that? Put them dots on there so that I knew where I was going. I've still not followed them. All right, let's just add some dimension to our leaves. Glue dots. Let's poke that one in behind there. This is a larger one. I love how this Peaceful Pines turned out. I think it looks beautiful. And that larger rose. Got a couple of singles we can add in, a pinch on that. And I tend to find if I don't faff, if I just get on, do it, it looks a lot better. If I spend too much time debating, that's when I tend to mess it up. A bit of white there. I need to get some more white foliage. Have I got any in here? I usually have. One cut. Oh, I've even got some of those in white. There we go. It's always handy to keep a few little bits spare, just in case. Okay, that should be enough. I don't want to use the same as my green flowers in white. Now I'm just going to add in white foliage just to bulk it out. As you would, I suppose, with the flower arrangement. And you add gypsum to it, baby's breath stuff. Okay. I do want a little bit of white, but I don't want quite so large leaves. So we'll cut some off here because they are smaller. So hold that up so that I can just see. I think we do need a little bit of something coming out of there. And that little bit there. Pop that under there, like so. Put that glue dot under. Oh, come on. That's it. Curl round. Twizzle that and it'll twizzle my glue dot. Yeah, I like that. Right. Now we can do our holes and our ribbon, and then we can find a sentiment to pop on there. And you could give this instead of a card. Right. Hole punch. Now I have got a punch that a 3/8 punch. It's not a Stampin' Up one. We don't have a 3/8 punch anymore. But if you have, that's probably a bit big actually. Oh well, I've done it now. I didn't realise it was quite so big. It looks a lot smaller on there. Right, I will rectify that by cutting 2 of these little flowers out of the dies in basic white. Just cut a couple of those. And there's always a way to rectify a mistake. I really didn't think that. It doesn't look that big. Should have known really, shouldn't I? 3/8, ½ inch. Never mind. It's just another chance to embellish. How much I'm not thinking. There you go, we can have those over. And then I'll punch a smaller hole in those using well, my little hole was sorry about reaching over you all. These are some old Stampin' Up ones. But if you've got again little hole punches or just a standard hole punch. There we go, that's better. We'll do the trick. Beautiful. Right, I'm going to curl those. Like I want a bigger, so I'm going to use the top of my glue just to go around the edges. Just give them a slight curve to them. I mean, we could have done it with one of these even. Right, so I'm going to add glue around these holes. I'm going to line that up, pop that over it. And again on that one, and I've knocked all the curl out of it, but that's okay, we can add it back in. Right. Then I want a sentiment. What sentiments have we got in here? We've got a happy birthday, a thank you, wishing you a day of relaxation, happiness and love. Actually, That's quite nice. We can have that on there, and then it's a nice gift. Because that's not for anything in particular, is it? Or you could send it as a thank you. That says, thank you for being there for me. Which I think it makes a nice little thank you gift. Will I use it like that? Possibly not. And I want to make it so it's something that I will give to somebody. So I'm going to go with just a happy birthday. And here I have a gold heat embossed happy birthday. So I am going to fussy cut that. And I think that'll do for a sentiment on here. Because I'd give it as a thank you or a happy birthday gift like that. But I wouldn't necessarily give a gift and say thank you for being there for me. I can't see when, though lots of people are just here for me all the time. But yeah, I'm more likely to use it like this. If this doesn't look right, that's okay. We can do something else. I just thought, being as I've got it here, and we've got gold foiling on the papers, that'd be quite nice. Yeah, I like that. I think. I'm unsure now. Don't like it in one, I don't think. But I'm not sure if I fussy cut it out properly, we'll see it too well, but we'll try. It's all about trial and error. And like I always say, it's only a piece of cardstock. I think it's just that first bit. It's got too much cardstock weight in it. Maybe cutting it out like that looks so much better. Yeah. Right, dimensionals, we'll go with minis. Surprising, isn't it? Just cut a little bit of extra cardstock out of it. And it's as you want it. Right, I've got a little half one there. I'll just fit on there. It's in the bin. Sorry, I've just thought when I do that, I've been and had blood tests done. Right. Pop that on there. Like that. Right, we want some bling. We've got our butterflies. We can have some lovely little butterflies over this. Because these butterflies are absolutely gorgeous. The blue one. There we go. Love that. Pop that out there out the way. Right, ribbon. I'm wondering if we should go a Burley Blush ribbon and keep it quite muted. Thinking the others might be a little bit heavy, because they are quite, yeah, I'll just go barely blush. And I'm going to go through that way. I want my ties on the front. Right. I'm just going to do half bow. Like so. Like that. And then can trim that piece off. It's a bit shorter. I mean, there's no weight to it, so it's not going to pull the knot out. And then I think that's perfect length actually. I'll do a half bow again, somewhere around that bit. Come on. Closer, get closer. Don't want to make it too much longer. There we go. Fab. Chop that. Get rid of that. And there we are. I've got a lovely little happy birthday wall hanging. You know, if you've got a friend who really appreciates handmade little gifts, make a little box for it, and then you've got your card and your gift in one. You could always add another scallop circle to the back to write on. I think that's lovely. It's a nice little gift. Oh, do excuse me. Right, let's get rid of the rubbish. And we'll bring our other card back. There you go, two very different projects using the same sweeter products. That one, sweeter products. That one we've just changed up the colours a bit and used a little bit of different DSP and sentiment. But yeah, I'm really pleased with both of those. I wish I'd have done one of these sooner. I might have to do a couple more of those for people. Right, well, thank you very much for joining me today. I do hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, do let me know. I do read all your comments. Remember, we've got the double rewards at the moment and also the selected paper and cardstock sale. So yeah, do go and check those out. My online mini album class is available to purchase on my website, so if you can go and check that out too at lisasloft.co.uk. But yeah, that's it for me. So I will be back this evening and I shall be doing a scrapbook page. If you can't do me then, hope you have a lovely week and I will see you all next week. Thanks very much. Bye.